This film had a decent setup. I personally would like to see a mature neo-noir told with Muppets. For all its faults, the Happytime Murders does not have a bad high-concept premise. I like the design of Phil. They actually managed to give him the typical Muppet look while also making him look like a hard-boiled detective at the same time. While the actual mystery itself isn't a surprise, the reveal that it was the daughter of the puppet Phil accidentally killed was actually genuinely surprising and was actually foreshadowed beforehand. This scene is probably the only one in the film that's halfway decent. It helps set the tone, the dynamic between the puppets and humans, and is the only time this place felt even just a little bit real to me. The chemistry between Phil and Detective Edwards isn't the worst thing ever, at least once they stop bickering like children. There are a few fleeting moments where you can buy that they were good partners, and the incident that tore their partnership and friendship apart is a solid explanation for how they've grown embittered toward each other. Such a shame that the film's script was just too bad to let those sparks of potential flourish. Sorry, I couldn't hold in my hatred for this film any longer. Anyway, enough positives, let's dive into this crap. I could have lived the rest of my life without ever having to watch a cow participate in a porno. Sadly, this film took that away from me. I will never forgive it for that. This film makes a fundamental and fatal flaw when it comes to trying to be more adult. It mistakes being crass and swearing as much as possible as being mature and adult, when instead it actually makes the film more juvenile. You can't just throw everything crude at the wall and see what sticks. You actually have to put effort into your jokes. Even in a profane sex comedy, it requires wit, talent, and time to refine everything. Sex in and of itself is not funny, and it doesn't magically become so just by having unfunny sex jokes being said by Muppets. This film is almost entirely shock comedy, and you cannot make that consistently funny. Shock comedy requires you to not expect it. You can only use shock comedy sporadically, otherwise it gets predictable and tiring very, very quickly, which is antithetical to what makes comedy work. The result is that this is one of the least funny comedies I've ever seen in my life. Why does Lieutenant Banning want Detective Edwards and Phil to work on the case together when neither of them wants to work with the other? First of all, I think bringing on the brother of one of the murder victims as a consultant might not be the best thing to do, considering it might make him too emotionally involved with the case and make poor decisions. Second, I'm pretty sure bringing him on the case would violate that Phillips Code that they brought up, even if he's not officially acting as a police officer. And finally, the two of them got into a major fight that ended up contaminating a crime scene. Their fighting is only going to make it harder for them to solve the case. Realistically, they should be as far away from each other as possible if you want this case solved as quickly as possible. Why are you trying to force them to work together? What is your motivation other than because plot? And seriously, movie, you want to try your hand at some ham-fisted social commentary in an attempt to win social brownie points? You think you're competent enough to do that? Because, spoiler alert, you're not. Thank you so much for watching. If you have another film that you'd like to see me tackle, feel free to leave it in the comments section below. Have a good day, and I'll see you next time.